I built a fully working Stripe payment provider in under 5 minutes using Laravel and PHP. Let's go. So a couple of requirements. You need to have PHP and you need to have Composer. Without those, this won't work. Open up your terminal and we're going to run Composer, create project, Laravel, and we're going to call it Stripe Laravel. Now just whiz through and install your Laravel package. Once that's done, you should have a folder called Stripe Laravel. Navigate inside of it and immediately you're going to install Stripe with this command. Once that's done, we need to make our new controller. So we're going to use Laravel Artisan to make a controller. We're going to call it Stripe Controller. Then once you've done that, we're going to open up the code in our PHP editor. Navigate to app, HTTP, controllers, Stripe Controller. And that's where you should find your Stripe controller that we just created with Artisan. In there, we're going to have 3 methods: public function index, public function checkout, and public function success. For both our index and success, we're just going to return our view index, which we'll get to in a minute. The checkout is where most of the core code goes. Here, we're going to set our Stripe API key. We're going to set that from the config. We'll come back to that. Next, create a checkout session. And inside of our create, we're going to have an array and then line items with an array, which has another array, and then your price data, currency, product data, the unit amount, which is always in pence, the quantity, the mode is going to be payment, and then we just want to define a success URL, which we're going to route towards our success method, which is this method here, and then a cancel URL, which we're just going to route towards index, which is our index up the top here. Then finally, for our checkout, we want to take that session that we've just created and grab the URL that it generates and redirect away to it. The next thing we're going to do is create our index view. So go to resources, go to views, and we're going to create a new file, index.blade.php. And in there, we're just going to have a simple form that's its action is rooted to that checkout method that we've just created. Make sure it's a post method, and then we're just going to have a simple checkout button. As it's Laravel, we need to make sure that you include our token for cross-site request forge. Then we need to go to our web routes, delete everything that's in there, and then we're going to create our index page, which is just going to be the main / and we're going to route that towards our Stripe controller to the index method that we created. Make sure it's a get, and the next one will be a post to the checkout URL, Stripe controller to the checkout method. Lastly, we're going to do a get method to our success URL, Stripe controller, success method. Then we just need to add a name to them all. A couple more things and we're done. We just need to create our config and populate the values. So go to config and create a new file called Stripe PHP and put in the following. You want an SK to the environment Stripe_SK. And the same for the PK. This is your secret key and publish key. Then lastly, you want to go to your environment file here, pretty much delete everything in there apart from the top. Then we're going to go and put in Stripe SK equals and Stripe PK equals. Here you want to go to your Stripe dashboard on Google Chrome, go to developers, API keys, grab your publish key, pop it in, and then you need to generate a secret key. Copy that, paste it in. For this to work in live mode with real money, just toggle this button here and grab your live keys and do the exact same thing. But instead of SK test, it'll be SK live. Now that we've done all this, we're going to upload this to a hosting provider and give it a test. Wicked, that's all uploaded. So if you navigate to your URL, make sure that it's a HTTPS because you're working with money here, and then you have your checkout button, give it a click, and behind the scenes, I've actually gone and put in my live API keys. So this is going to work with real money, so forgive me, I'm going to blur a few things out, but we should see £5 being sent. And there you have it, a fully working Stripe payment provider built using Laravel in PHP in roughly 5 minutes. If you liked this video, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe.